Hey everyone, this is Ron with BridgeCom Systems. My call sign is KC0QVT, and I'm coming to you live from Smithville, Missouri at BridgeCom HQ. I know we're in a deep freeze right now, and I'm really glad you're here. My phone says it's 13 outside here, 13 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is warming up. We got a heat wave coming compared to what it's been. But anyway, I thank you for being here, value your time, and I want to give you guys some good training today. And we're going to have a really cool training session today on DMR to YSF. But before I get into that, I wanted to do a big congrats to Kurt Freed, Kilo Bravo 3 Tango Juliet Papa. He won the recent giveaway we did and took home a bunch of nice gear. But congratulations, Kurt. And the cool thing is we've got another giveaway happening, and hopefully you guys got some information on that. But I'll go over it real quick. This giveaway is about as good, probably just as good. And I think we've we're trying to outdo the previous giveaway. But what's going on here is there's an Anytone 5783 Pro. To power that, you're going to need a power supply, so we're throwing in a Duracom 18 amp power supply. Duracom is one of our partners, and they make some really good stuff. They're actually located here in Kansas City as well. But this is a desktop power supply. Then you're going to get the Anytone tri-band antenna, the Anytone 878 Plus, so you're going to get an HT with that. BridgeCom University for all three, you're going to get the Zygoos G90, which is a transceiver, and then BridgeCom University, which are 3 courses for all those particular radios. That goes with the package as well. The HF rig, the G90 is going to get the antenna, the cooling bracket. Then you're going to get a BCA 300 mag mount antenna. For the handheld, you get a BCS 200 speaker mic for your lapel, to put over here on your lapel, and then an extra battery and belt clip, and then we'll ship it to you. Almost $2,000, and no purchase necessary. In the spirit of Hamfest, we're doing these raffles, drawings, giveaways, and it's a way for us to get to meet each other, and also to just keep the momentum going. It's cool having giveaways. We enjoy doing that, and it's a good way for us to be able to communicate with you and learn who you are and what you're doing. Anyway. Got several people tuning in. I'll do some shout outs here real quick. Dave Nudi's here. He's a good friend out of Cleveland. Dean Dunlap. I've gotten to know him on our Facebook page. He's in Lawrence, Kansas. No power or traffic with power. No traffic with power. Yeah, a lot of people don't have power right now. Eliezer Gonzalez is chiming in from Trenton, New Jersey. Kenny from Scotland. Don't have a call. So, okay, yeah, Mike 3 Papa Tango Juliet, all the way from Scotland. Good to see you, Kenny. Anyway, yeah, thank you for spending your morning with us, or I'm sure in Kenny's case, it's probably his evening or afternoon. Okay, well, good. Over the course of time, people talk about the building a code plug for your DMR radio is tough. We do hear this a lot, and we're aware of that. And we also found that it's even tougher when you don't have the help that you need. And so, here at BridgeCom, we want to make that as easy as possible. So, that's why we have these live streams. That's why we've done all this content for you, so that once you get your radio from us, you get all this content to help you figure out what's going on. Because certainly, when you buy your radio or get your radio, you want some help, and that's why we built that. So our mission is to help you be successful with your radio, and we believe that's happening. I mean, we're getting a lot of good feedback from the market. Our Facebook page is about 8,600 folks. There's a lot of good people in there helping, and also we have good content in our videos, and we're making more and more every day. And then, of course, I'm doing these live streams every week because I want you guys successful. So I do appreciate you spending an hour or so with me every week. And then of course these videos are all on our YouTube channel so that you can go back and watch them if in the event, you know, you miss something. And then of course, you know, there's this feature in YouTube where you can adjust the playback speed. So if you want to get through the content quickly, you can increase the speed, or if you want to, you can slow it down. So keep that in mind as you journey with us. And with that said, I am on a journey as well. And I'm noticing a lot of neat things about working with the DMR radio and the Hotspot, and what's happening, you know, as we explore these different places that you can talk on. You know, for example, Brandmeister, we looked at DMR Plus, we looked at TGIF, and one of the things that I've discovered that, you know, as you travel, it's sort of like you're able to go to these various places out there in ham radio where you'll meet all kinds of different people, and you'll find that there's common interests that you might have, and it's sort of like you're going through a shopping mall in a way, and you're just checking out what's going on, and you might find that, you know, you'll go to this talk group and these guys are talking about something that you're interested in, and you'll make new friends, and then you'll go to another place and you'll find that, you know, they're interested in this particular topic. And what's interesting about this, it's like, you know, you've got this smorgasbord of options that you can use with this Hotspot, and it opens up the entire world to you so that you can go and make friends, because you'll find that certain people just camp in certain areas, and then you can go visit them, and you can find out what's might be interesting to you, and you'll have this common thing, because there's talk groups built around these kind of ideas, and there's nets built around by certain people. They'll have nets that allow for all kinds of different topics. So keep that in mind as you're exploring this. And this is what makes this fun, is that, you know, you can meet a lot of neat people, and that's really what it's about, is meeting new friends. I mean, we make contacts and all, and that's great, but, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that might think like you, or they have the same interest as you, and you can share stories. So that's what makes this fun, and that's what I'm seeing as I travel through the Hotspot into the world with my radio. Well, with that being said, I have explored another facet of what we're doing, and it's the cross-moding that you can do with your Hotspot and your radio, and it's really cool. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So hopefully you guys got a copy of the show notes. I did all this here so you could follow along. It's a PDF document. It should be. I'm going to be going over into my computer here and referencing that. But Tanner should be able to put a link so that you can go get this and follow along. And wait and see if that's happening. Got a lot more folks joining in. It's great. We enjoy you here. So, yeah, following along in the PDF, you know, because you're using your DMR radio, you'll need to. I'm on the wrong page. Page. I got to go to the first page. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to set up and use your DMR HT to communicate on the YSF FCS networks, and subsequently talk to folks using YSF C4 FM radios. Okay. Let me just say one thing up front. If you don't understand all the terminology that I'm going to throw at you, do not despair. We do not need to know how the sausage is made to enjoy this technology. There's a lot of stuff here that I still don't even know what's going on behind the scenes, but I'm slowly figuring this out. But I'm not going to let that get in the way of me continuing my journey, because I think I'll figure it out, or I'll find somebody that can help me, because I don't want to get bogged down in the technology. I mean, and I've thought about this to try to convey this analogy, create an analogy to convey this. I mean, I know when I got into my car this morning and came to the office, I didn't have to concern myself with how a gas combustible engine works in order to get here. I just turned the key on and trusted that it all was going to work. Even though I do know a little bit about cars, I just didn't need to be concerned with all the thermodynamic concerns. So in the same way, you know, with your radio, we don't need to worry about all the stuff that goes on, you know, with the radio. Let's just take it on assumption for a while that it does work and that we can build this. And if it does, and if we snag up or whatever, we'll get through it. Okay. I hope you guys got this PDF. Anyway, okay. So anyway, so we're going to look at how to set up your DMR HT to communicate on YSF. So hopefully you've got your repeater ID, your DMR ID from radioid.net. That is the #1 step you need to take. Hopefully you got a good radio. Hopefully it's well supported by the manufacturer and the people you bought it from. That is essential, you know, and you want to get a good radio. And then the third thing you want to make sure you do is you have access to a hotspot or a local DMR repeater. We have a lot of content that we talk about all this in previous live streams. Those are all available on our YouTube channel, so I invite you to go back and watch some of those live streams. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to go back and talk about that. But yeah, go to radioid.net, get you a DMR ID, get you a good radio that does DMR, and then also get you a hotspot or be in proximity to a local repeater. Okay, so a little bit of background. The hotspots running Pi-Star allow for an operating mode called DMR X mode. Okay, more specifically DMR to YSF. When enabled, this allows you to program your DMR radio to steer your hotspot to connect to the various YSF or FCS reflectors or servers. This enables you to have QSOs with other hams using YSF C4 FM radios. So you might want to know what the YSF, those are system fusion radios. Radio to radio, they don't talk, but through this device, they can talk. And just as a bit of a background, C4 FM, which is the technology that those radios use, is called continuous 4-level frequency modulation, which is a special type of 4 FSK frequency shift keying. So what you guys need to do is you need to go pull out your study materials from your extra class or your general class licenses, and then you can learn all about that. The ARRL handbook talks a lot about that stuff. So I invite you to explore that. That's another rabbit trail you could go down to understand what is truly going on with digital. You know, you hear about all these radios going digital. Well, this is kind of like the stuff that makes it happen. So there's a challenge for you. And you can find a lot of that in the ARRL handbook. I get one of those every other so often. I mean, it's pretty, once you get one, you can pretty much hold it for a few years, and it's pretty relevant. Okay, so jumping into to the computer here, the list of available YSF and FCS reflectors and their associated numbers are at these locations on the Pi-Star website. Now, YSF stands for Yaesu System Fusion. FCS stands for, I don't know what it stands for. I looked for that last night when I was putting this all together. I think it's something computer system, maybe. There are these big servers, reflectors that have what are called 100 module, they call them modules. And there's like 5 or 6 or 7 of them. But they're places that you can connect your radio to through the hotspot. But I don't know what FCS stands for, and I did look for that. So YSF, if we go and jump to this website here, we'll see all of these reflectors, okay? Now, these are places like talk groups you know of in DMR. These are connections that you can make, and you'll see here that there's a bunch of strange naming conventions, all kinds of different places that you can go. Brazil, there's a bunch of stuff by country, and these are all just arbitrarily set up. China, I suspect CT is it's another country code. You got DE, which is Germany, I think. And you've got all these different, what are commonly called rooms or reflectors. And you can connect your DMR or your hotspot to these and communicate them via DMR, and we're going to go through that. So as you poke around through here, you can see all the places that you can go.
Connect to reflector.
Okay,
4, 5.
I got my.
4.
Looks like I just reconnected from a previous. By the way, all this stuff is still set up from the last live stream. Okay, so we're still, and we'll jump into the Pi-Star, and I'll show you that all that's still going. But anyway, this is where you can find these talk group numbers that we're going to be interested in if we want to connect to any of these rooms or these reflectors, okay? And these are all available on the Pi-Star website. And as you can see, there's hundreds of these, hundreds of places you can go. It's worldwide what's going on here, not just in DMR, but within YSF. Okay, and then of course you can click over here and you can see the FCS reflector list, which I have the link earlier there. And these are, I think, let's see, there's 100 nodes or modules per FCS number, and there's 2. Let's see how far down this thing goes. I mean, it's crazy. There's a lengthy. I mean, the amount of stuff that's going on. Look, and there's all these different places that are still yet to be occupied. But various countries are in here, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, that's how deep the rabbit hole is. It's deep. But anyway, aside from all that, let's just see how we can enjoy some of this stuff. So, what we need to do first is we need to configure. We need to figure out how to log into Pi. We need to configure the hotspot. Okay. And by the way, I'm going to be following along. I see your guys' comments coming in, and I'll address those as we move forward. So let's go ahead, and I will go into my hotspot, and from the screen here, I see that I'm on 192.168.1.77. So I'm going to type this in over here on my computer. I'm on 177, and that should pop up my dashboard. And I want to log in, and so I want to go to the configuration page, and if I press this, it's going to prompt me to enter the password, which is Pi-Star and Raspberry. And I want to sign in. Oops, I guess I typed it in wrong. Let me see, Pi-Star, R-A-S-P-B-E-R-R-Y. Does anybody ever have trouble typing in Raspberry? It's Raspberry. I always have to get that figured out. Okay, so we want to, and I'm following along in the notes here, enable the DMR to YSF button. Okay, so if you look down here on your MMDVM host, we see we're just using DMR, but now you'll look down here and you're going to see this other option that says DMR to YSF. Okay, so I want to turn this on, okay? Turn that on. Now I need to apply the changes. This is what you want to do to get the ball rolling. Okay, so it's going to restart. Okay, one guy, Ernie Aldama, says, please, if you're going to crossband, make sure your audio levels are set right. Too many times I hear someone coming in to wires X from ... Okay. I hear you. Got to figure out how to set the audio levels because a lot of these guys are coming into from DMR. They all sound good on DMR. I actually had this happen to me over the weekend. I was in another room and somebody says, "Hey man, you're too loud." But that's the first time I've ever heard that. So we gotta look into that. That's another thing to consider, which I know we can adjust them on the radio. But I wonder if we can adjust them somewhere else, because one thing, you adjust the radio, then it's globally the audio levels drop. The way I solved that problem temporarily was I just spoke, I moved the mic away from my lips a bit further than I had, and of course I was trying not to talk as loud. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's a good point, Ernie, and I appreciate that. Okay, so now we've got the DMR to YSF button checked. So what this is going to do is that we'll want to leave the DMR configuration. If you go down here, we want to leave all this the same. Okay? We want to leave the DMR gateway. We want to still be on the Brandmeister master, and all that stuff is the same. Our DMR plus master, if you recall, we left it at DMR plus IPS2 New York. It'll start on that reflector. And in fact, when I restarted the thing, I could hear, restarted the hotspot, I heard it connect to that reflector. So I'm going to leave all that alone. Okay, so now here's what we want to do. We want to scroll down where it says Yaesu System Fusion configuration. We want to set a YSF startup host. Now, I went ahead, and I think it's keeping this from my previous session, to America link. And as I state here, this is the reflector the hotspot will connect to upon boot. For this training, we're going to set it to America's link. This is typically a very busy reflector where you'll be able to make a lot of new friends. So we're going to go ahead and apply the settings here. And again, this is, I'll just really quickly show you what's going on here. This is where you can see a bunch of these reflectors, and for YSF as well as FCS. They're all in here. And I don't know how up to date this is, but I think it's pretty up to date. It's pretty lengthy. I mean, there are loads of places here, okay? And we're going to start with this America's link. But what I'm going to show you with the radio is we're going to be able to steer these without having to be mindful of this startup, okay? So I'm going to leave this as at America's link, but this is where you create your startup. All right. So I'm going to apply that. And it'll restart. Okay, and then we're going to, once it's restarted, I'm going to go over to the dashboard and show you the changes. Okay, so I'm going to click on the dashboard, and by the way, I've got to update my Pi Star for the new release. I've got to do that. Okay, so what you want to focus on is go down here, as I state here. Once restarted, go to the dashboard, confirm at the bottom left of the screen the hotspot is connected to America's link. Okay, I'm also connecting to my DMR Plus 4541, which I believe is the QuadNet, using the IPCS2 network. So that's connecting as well. So you can see right here, I'm connected to Brandmeister. I'm connected to the IPCS2 DMR Plus. I'm also now, you can see DMR2, YSF. I'm on a crossover network doing X mode, as well as from a couple live streams ago, I'm still able to talk on TGIF. Now, what we just added is this YSF network, and you can see right now I'm on America's link, and that's what we just turned on. So this is a good sign. This means the hotspot has made the connection, and I should be able to use my radio to talk on that with the appropriate talk group. So that's good. So now what we want to do is we want to jump into programming the radio to take advantage of this connection. Okay, so because we're using DMR, we're going to need to set up talk groups and channels for each one of the reflectors you'd like to connect to. Okay, so that's why you want to go through the list of available reflectors, servers, and find ones that are of interest to you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to program these up as talk groups and then see if we can make contacts. This does have to be manually done. You don't get a pre-populated list that pops into your radio of all the available reflectors. It does require you to do this. So, but you should have the skills at this point to do this. This is how, we're going to go in and create the talk groups manually. We're going to create the channels, and then we're going to create the zone, and then we're going to dump it into the radio and see what happens. So we, all the talk group numbers for YSF and FC reflectors were on those Pi Star website, and because I'll just jump back over, and you can see those are over on the left or the right side of the screen. And so we're going to pick a few and test them, and keep in mind that all of the reflector numbers are preceded by the number 7. Okay, so for this training, we're going to program the parrot to test the audio connection. Then we're going to see about having a QSO on America's link. And then we'll try, which I have not done yet, I will try FCS Alabama link. We'll see what happens there, if anything, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into computer again, and we're going to open up the CPS, and I'm going to right click on run it as administrator, because Windows seems to like it better. And I want to open this, and then I want to get my programming cable here, connect it up. Okay. And hopefully you guys can see the radio there. We got another camera for you. So I'm going to read the radio, and I should be okay on COM 3. So I'm going to read that. Okay, so we want to create the talk groups. So we want to go down here to digital, and you're going to look at this section here called talk groups. Okay, now we've got this, everything starts at slot 18. So I'm going to create talk groups for the Parrot, America Link, and Alabama Link. So let's do that. And these are group calls. So let's do the Parrot. So I'm going to call this YSF, I'll make it caps, YSF Parrot. And that's a group call. And it's going to be 70, because we precede it by a 7, 99999. Okay, that's that. That's the group. So like you guys know about Ohio, that's 3139, Florida's 3112, the Parrot is 9990. These all have group numbers as well. So let's do America. So we're going to call this YSF America. I'll just see if I can get link in there. Yeah, I got that in. Okay, so this is a group call, and it's going to be 7032592. All right. Easy enough. Let's do Alabama now. This is going to be FCS, which is another network. Alabama. I don't know if I can get link in there or not. Yeah, I got it in. Okay, and this is a group call. So we'll try this one. And again, I have not done that one, but I want to see what's up. 7100358. Let's see, is that right? Yeah. All right. Okay, created the groups. Now we need to create the channels for each of these talk groups. So let's go up here and create the channels. And again, we're just doing what we've been doing. It's all the same, okay? So let's just copy the previous, let's just copy this guy right here at 32, because we're going to change some stuff. But we're going to talk, that's the hotspot. It's on 446.525. Okay. We're going to paste it, okay? Let's paste another one. Let's paste two more, because we're making 3 channels. Okay, so let's go into the first one, left double click. So we're going to call this one YSF Parrot. Okay, and then we want to change the talk group, the contact here. We know it's simplex because we're talking on a hotspot. All this stuff should just stay the same. Slot 2. So let's find that new one. There it is right there. Left click one time. You can see it's a group call. And there you have it. Okay, all we're doing is changing the contact. Real simple. Okay, let's change the contact here. Oh, you need to change the alpha tag. So this is going to be YSF America. Okay, and then we'll go find the contact that we just created. And yeah, we're hand cranking this. I mean, I know you guys can go out and get a contact list that's pre-done, and I've shown you how to do that, but in the interest of just showing you how you can build your own code plug, then you know, you can have more control over the world you want to enter, okay? And that's the idea here. Just keep an open mind, stay positive. You get it. I've got you. I'm in your corner. I'm your Elmer, as they call it. I'll help you. Let's see. Then the next one is FCS. We'll just we'll just say Alabama link. Yep, we got it all in there. So we're going to go ahead and connect that talk group. Where is him at? There he is, right there. All right. So, okay, now, created the channels. Now we need to create a zone. You got to remember zone. I did this the other day. I didn't add a channel to the zone, and I'm sitting there wondering where my channels were, and I made a rookie mistake and realized I didn't make a zone. So let's make this zone. Let's just call this YSF zone, and I'm going to put these both these channels, or all three of these channels in here. So let's just do OK. Well, let's put the parrot in. Let's put the America and Alabama. Okay, 3 of those channels are in the zone. There's my zone. All right. Real quick before I dump this in, Dave, why do you read the radio every time you connect to make changes? I don't want to have any. Well, the reason I do that is because I'm starting the programmer up from scratch. It has no recollection of what I had in the radio. So the radio effectively becomes like the hard drive for the programming. I do all my changes and I save them to the radio. And so when the program gets closed, I lose everything because I don't save it to a file. I save it to the radio. So that's when I start. I want to pull everything from the radio that I just did versus from a file. I want to make sure I'm working off the same page. And it is good to save your radio's contents in the event you have a major malfunction of some kind. You could save your, you could back up your radio to your disk or your computer. But in this case, I'm backing all my stuff up to the radio. I'm probably playing with fire in the event this radio, something happens to it or something. It could lose its mind. I don't know. I should save this. I just haven't done that. But that's why I do that. So yeah, the radio is effectively the hard drive in this case. Okay, so I've got this ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and write it to the radio. So if we can hop over and look at the radio, you can see it going in. The taskbar is going. Yep, copying the data to the radio. Do not power off. Please wait. There's my name and call sign. So I'm hoping you're enjoying this training. It's another thing you can do with your radio. So I'm going to disconnect the cable, and as we know, we won't hear nothing if that's connected. Okay, so go. I'm going to jump over into the computer here so that you can actually see the board as we do some stuff here. And I am going to press the up button, and that's going to put me on the YSF zone. All right, so what I'm going to show you is we're right now connected to America Link, but as I state here, we're going to test the parrot. All right, so what I should think, what should happen here is I should hit the hotspot with my radio on low power, of course, and I should see that YSF network go to parrot. That should change. So I'm going to go ahead and see if the parrot will come up. So I'm going to do it. Well, okay, I see that there's signal. Okay, let me back up a minute and do something here. One of the things that happens when you put all these, I don't know what you call them, all these different modes in your radio, you can create a mess. And you want to make sure the mess stays clean, in good shape. So I just realized that the DMR Plus is still connecting to that server. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that real quick so I don't have any interruptions while I'm working with the YSF stuff. So I'm going to go over here to this disconnect. I'm going to key it up. Okay. That's all you have to do is to tell the hotspot to go, and it should tell you that, okay, and it just fed back to me. I didn't switch over fast enough, but it did tell me I disconnected. Okay, so now I want to go back to the new zone I created, parrot. Okay, so now I should have this thing totally dedicated to the what I'm after, and that's the YSF network. So let me just key it up, KC0QVT, and you can see down there that the parrot is now hitting it. It should come back and say something or repeat me.
QVT.
Okay.
And you can see down there that the parrot is.
Okay. So we hit the YSF parrot, And it says now we're connected. If you go down here and look, you're going to see the YSF network is now on the Parrot. So what I did was I effectively steered the hotspot to that reflector. And that's where it's sitting right now. So that's how you're telling this, you're telling the hotspot where to go. So I know we started on America Link because that's where we set it up as the startup host, but now we've moved it over to Parrot. So I'll do the Parrot one more time. KC0QVT.
KC0QVT.
Okay. So we're in business. So now let's try America's Link and see if there's any friendly folks out there. Okay, and this again, as I told you, my experience is this is a very busy reflector. I don't know if it's as busy as Talk Group 91 worldwide, but it might come close. But a lot of friendly people out there. So let's just say this KC0QVT. Anybody out there for a radio check? And you'll notice the USA America's Link came up. So I'm now on that.
I
didn't hear a word.
KC9BWJ. Seems awful quiet to me as well. I don't know what's going on here. This is KC9BWJ.
Okay, I'm on America's Link. KC9.
Station call for a radio check. This is KC9BWJ. Yes, it seems awful quiet in here. I don't know what's going on. KC9BWJ.
Okay, KC9BWJ responded. I'll At KC9BWJ, this is KC0QVT. I'm hearing you loud and clear, my friend. How you doing? This is Ron, KC0QVT, Smithville, Missouri. What's your QTH, my friend?
Hey there, Ron. I am located in Wisconsin, right in between Milwaukee and Green Bay, if you know where that is. Right on Lake Michigan. Just kind of wondering why America Link has been so quiet lately. Have you heard any activity today, and where are you located?
Oh, I guess it's quiet. I thought he meant the volume was quiet, but he's meaning that the channel's quiet. Hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, you're probably freezing just like us. No, we're in Smithville, Missouri, just north of Kansas City. And I don't know, I just got on the channel, so I hadn't been listening to a whole lot of traffic. So it's cool that you're monitoring. Yeah, I'm just doing some testing, checking it out, and wanted to see how I sounded on the network. And hope you're doing well. It's KC0QVT.
KC0QVT. That's me, BJ. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of almost perfect, I would say. Once in a while, you get stations coming in way overmodulated, or their mic gain is turned up way too far, or either that, on the opposite end of the spectrum, they're way too quiet. But you are sounding perfect, so whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. KC9BWJ.
Yeah, copy that. Thank you so much, KC9BWJ. Hey, stay warm, my friend, and it's great to hear you. Enjoy your radio, and 7-3, have a great afternoon. All right. So
you as well. Take care. Maybe we'll catch you next time around. Yep. All right.
Okay.
7-3s. KC9BWJ. I will be clear.
All right. There you go, folks. I just made a new friend, KC9BWJ.
KC0QVT from N4 LLC.
No, yeah, N4 LLC. We talked to him a while back. I think I sent him a QSL card. N4 LLC, this is KC0QVT. How you doing, my friend? Did you get my QSL card?
It hasn't came through yet, but I just wanted to let you know you're sounding good on the Fusion side here. I've got my FT1D running through my SkyBridge.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Well, you know, got to give the post office some grace right now. They're kind of slow, but yeah, I did get yours via the EQSL. So that's really cool. I've got to start doing that.
Have any QSL cards, so that's the thing that works for me. Well, radio might die here in just a minute, but yeah, I just want to stop by and say you're sounding good, and we're using our all of our different radios with the SkyBridge as well. So we'll catch you later in 4LLC.
Yeah. Hey, before you go, hey, how you're like 14 or 15 years old, right? Like you're just getting into ham radio, and I mean, I looked at your QRZ page, and you have dived in. How long have you been a ham?
I have been a ham since June of 2020, but I've been in it since about 2015 or 2016. You know, when I started, you know, just kind of getting around it and have people that did it and, you know, this and that. And I've been in GMRS since then, and maintain a GMRS repeater now. And now I've got my license, and here soon I'll probably start up probably like a DMR repeater or a P.5 repeater here soon.
Well, that's awesome. It's cool to hear you on the radio. Well, you keep it up. Yeah, you're doing great, and it's cool to see, you know, all the young folks getting into ham radio, and I'm glad you're tuning into the live stream. Hey, take care, and 7-3, this is KC0QVT clear.
Thank you, Ron, and we'll talk to you again in 4LLC.
Nice, nice. So, okay, so we got that, and I'm going to turn this down. So we did America's Link, and yeah, a couple folks are on there. It's awesome. And now let's try Alabama Link real quick. I've never been on the FCS. Let's see if this works. Okay, so I'm going to key it up. KC0QVT monitoring Alabama Link. Anybody copy for a radio check? Now it says FCS 00358, so there's not any extra intelligence as far as that goes. But it did convert, it did switch over to that network. Now that's one of the things about all these reflectors. I mean, the thing that crosses my mind is, okay, there's all these places to go. What are the chances that somebody's going to be on there? I don't know. I mean, it would seem that, you know, the odds are slim. You kind of got to go where the fish are biting. So, you know, I often wonder about what, you know, all of these different reflectors and nodes and what makes them, I mean, why so many? You know, I don't know the answer to that. So that's why I'm thinking, well, somebody must have wanted to create that at some point. So, you know, it is what it is. That's why I just randomly picked Alabama. I thought maybe, you know, there might be a few folks out there. I'll try it again real quick. KC0QVT monitoring Alabama. Anybody copy for a radio check? We'll let this one go. It's sort of like, you know, an HF where you're scanning the spectrum. So, and then of course you can poke around and ask people like, well, where are people camping? You know, you can look for nets and things like that and find out, oh, these folks are over here on this reflector, or these folks are over on this talk group or whatever, and that they're over here on that particular time. But that's the fun of it. So I don't hear anybody. I doubt that. It's probably pretty quiet. So we could try another link, but this is what you have to do. And I think you guys are getting the point. So you want to go out and just look on the Pi-Star website for reflectors. You know, ask folks for, you know, where there might be some traffic. We've learned that, you know, the TGIF folks have a lot of traffic. We've got the QuadNet, which has a lot of traffic. America's Link, you know, has got a lot of traffic. And then, of course, while you're there, you can, you know, you'll get invited to go to nets where people talk about subjects that you might be interested in. So let me switch to some bonus content that I think is going to be helpful to you guys as you build up this radio that I found to be kind of useful. If we go back into the CPS, I want to encourage you guys to check out the digital monitor function of the radio if you haven't already done so. And you want to find this in the optional settings tab. okay, if we're over there, and we want to look at the key function, okay, now I've set up P2 short key press to be digital monitor. Now, the reason I did that is because when you have all these different modes on your radio, and we'll jump over here in, I should say we have all these modes enabled on the hotspot, which is keying back and forth on one frequency pair. And then you've got all these channels that are in your radio, and you've got these various zones, okay? It might be that you did not disconnect from a particular channel or a particular server, repeater, or whatever, and so it's still flowing traffic. If you might have caught this, but when the hotspot came out of reset, it went to the DMR Plus server, and the radio alerted me to that, saying I'm connected to 4541. Okay, that came out of reset. Well, I know that because I saw the signal strength meter go up. Well, what I can do is, and I've already done this, is that I can go here and press the P2 button, and I can turn digital monitor on to monitor the time slots. So let's say if I'm over here on DMR Plus, or if I'm on Brandmeister or TGIF, and there's traffic flowing because I did not disconnect, and the hotspot's still connecting to that, that'll allow for me to hear that traffic and then say, oh, I'm still connected to TGIF, or I'm still connected, even though I'm over on another zone, and now my radio's busied out, even though I'm like, why, what's going on here? You know, that'll help you alleviate some of the confusion and give you some insight as to maybe what's happening as far as troubleshooting. Because I found that I've got you know, I'm on 4 DMR masters, I'm on the YSF network, so I've got Brandmeister coming into this potentially, I've got DMR Plus coming in, I've got TGIF, and now I've got the YSF stuff coming in. So, you know, 4 different sources of audio traffic are going to be trying to get into this if I had not hit the disconnect. Because sometimes some of these you stay permanent, you know, you stay connected until you disconnect. So keep that in mind. That's just a tip for you. But you go in and you change that. You can change it on your radio on the fly, but what'll happen is you might overwrite that with your CPS if you're still messing with that, and you'll lose that functionality. So I went ahead and I made the change on the radio, and then I read it out, and then now once I dump it back in, it's always there. So that's, and I assigned P2 to that key. So there's a tip for you. So that's it. I made a new friend, KC9BWJ, and then I got to talk to the friend I made last week, N4LLC. That young man's coming along really well and enjoying the content. And with that, if you guys have any questions, I think we're good here. I see PD9MMO, Mino, how you doing? Kenny's enjoying it. He heard the America link. But you guys now should be able to use your DMR radio to talk to your YSF brothers. So we're bringing all the factions together. This little box here, it's pretty cool. This thing opens up the entire world to you as a ham. It's really neat what's happening, and we're at the tip of the iceberg. What's going on? See this?
5.
Okay, I just connected to a reflector. I don't know why it's doing that. Must be timing out and going into it. But the only reason why I heard that was because I had digital monitor on. Because I'm on the TGIF zone, but that was on the DMR Plus zone, and it was a different talk group. So, yeah, last caller 4541 from DMR Plus to talk group. So, but I'm over here on the TGIF zone. So, digital monitor, definitely want to use that to help make sure you don't lose your mind. Anyway, that ends the training today. I'll be monitoring Facebook periodically, and this video will go out on YouTube after. and you guys can rewatch it to see how it's doing. But it's pretty easy to set this up, and this should open up a whole nother world for you. So with that, I don't see any questions coming in from either Facebook or YouTube. So with that, I'll just say 7-3 and enjoy your radio and your hotspot.